You have an argument under the same roof. All that needs to happen to resolve that before you have to call somebody in one of those cars with the blinking lights is somebody break off the contact. You're going to have the contact. That's why I say you minimize it. I mean, you're going to have the conflict, but you minimize it by just breaking contact. See, black people should stay away from each other until they have something to say or do that's absolutely constructive. Now let's get to the practical part. I'm going to try to jump right in after giving that frame of reference, because this is what codification is all about. In other words, code means you have a set of do's and don'ts. I cannot come to your house unless there is an agenda for being there. See, this whole thing of hanging out at somebody's house is what traditionally has gotten black people in trouble. That's what starts the Saturday night fights. I just drop in, and hey, man, what you doing? I ain't doing nothing, man. What's happening with you? I don't know, man. Have a seat over there. This is us. Everywhere. Right this minute. This is what? Saturday night in the Northwestern Hemisphere? You better believe it's going on. See? From Memphis to St. Joe. All right? Or wherever. Then I sit down and I say, hey, man, what you got? I don't know, man. Put on some records. I don't like that song. Put on another one. You got anything to drink? See? You got anything to snort? See? Well, you know, I'm out of that, man, so here we go. Before the night is over, chances are, somewhere in that block, maybe not right there in that setting, it's going to be conflict between the people who call themselves buddies. So I'm saying the only reason I should ever come to visit you, or any black person should ever visit any other black person, is I came over to help you paint the wall, fix the car out back, or do some type of constructive activity. Not just sit around and chat and socialize. Because black people don't know how to do it without conflict. We have lost that art. You say, well, females don't start fighting. They do other things. Like all that vicious gossip. Can't help that if you don't have an agenda. Two females sitting down together, black females as a rule, sooner or later, if you don't have an agenda, if you don't have a reason for being there, like came over to pick up some sewing, or came over to do some specific thing, like help babysit, some type of constructive labor, just sitting around, you're going to start picking at each other, even if it's just trivial things like picking on the female that just left there a few minutes ago. See? What was she doing over here? I didn't know Helen was coming by here. Y'all still speaking? All that trivial stuff, that's destructive. The code says you shouldn't do it. And you can minimize doing that if you just stay out of people's places to stay. It's just a simple thing like that. You'll be surprised at how much that helps. I'm coming over to your house Saturday evening, and I'm coming over because you said to come over at 1 o'clock and pick up some books, or to pick up a carburetor for the car, or we're going to work on a car out back, or I'm going to do something, fix the plumbing or whatever. That comes under this visiting. See, it's a science to visiting. You got to have a program for every move that we make. This is basically what I'm saying. Don't leave nothing to chance, because the racists do not leave anything to chance. The white supremacists got a plan for every minute of your time. They know what I know. If I'm a white supremacist, I know what my boys and gals are going to be doing on the weekend, because I got it programmed. See, I got the liquor store on the corner. I got the young black person standing out there looking for somebody to sell some crack to, with his 9mm all ready to go in his pocket. He's going to kill somebody before the night's over, most likely you, if your money ain't right. And this is the scene. Everything is very carefully thought out. So this is what you do about it. You minimize contact. Now this is going to throw a whole lot of things out of kilter that the racists got set up. Until I haven't talked to John in 6 weeks. I usually talk to him every day. But now I got something to say to him that's important and that is constructive. So now I'll pick up the phone and call him. I don't call nobody to chit-chat. I mean, this is war, so you get on a wartime footing. That's exactly the way you look at it. Otherwise, we would just be regarded as a simple-minded people that just keep playing from generation to generation. Because we are playful. I'm kind of playful myself, even at my age. But we got to minimize the playfulness when you are in a war. People are dying, babies are dying, crack cocaine. Black people are completely out of it, killing each other, getting mad about nothing, carrying guns for each other. All kinds of animosities of every type. We got them for each other. Can't stand each other and can't stand ourselves. So the first thing we do is just back off. And anytime you meet a black person, just have something pleasant to say. I'm talking about practical things every day. I'm going to try to jump right into it because I don't know how long I have to talk. And I don't want to wear you out either. But stop the elevator insults. I'm just going to jump into everyday things. Warehouse situation or office situation. Notice how black males particularly, when you get on the elevator, Monday morning, you go right into an elevator insult if you see somebody on that elevator that you know. You know us. Here's the white people standing there, and we look back in the back there. Hey, man, where you stay last night? Your eyes show red. I know where you been. I know what you've been doing. Yeah, man, you can't tell me nothing. Oh, man, go on, man. See, this is black people. Start cutting each other down on Monday morning. Now, the code says you just replace that with a simple, flat out, good morning when you get on. Good morning. And turn around face to front. So you just regiment yourself. This is all do-it-yourself codification. Good morning. Say that to black people and white people. Good morning. Get on the freight elevator and say good morning. Turn around and face to front. When you get off, over your shoulder, say, have a nice day. And all black people doing that on a Monday morning, that is phenomenal. The white people will start looking at each other and say, what's going on? You know, these people usually get on, insulting each other. The elevator insult, that's what I call it. See, I make this stuff up. Elevator insults. Put that in your mind. Elevator insults. See? Or you can change the setting, see? Bus insults, bus station insults. See? Whatever it is, see? Because black people know how to insult each other. That is our favorite pastime. We've been doing it. It was passed on to us. That's a part of our heritage. But it's incorrect. And it's very destructive. It ruins your Monday morning, but you're not aware of it. But white people get on and say, hi, Ned. Hi, Brian. How's Helen? Fine, and you? See? Black people. Man, you are ugly, son. You're too ugly to be on this elevator with me. I sure hope this thing stops. Let me off on the next floor. I'll see you later, man. See? Got to do that. That's what we call part of our, lifestyle. And that's the thing that gets us killing each other on Saturday nights. That whole approach. See, it starts with a little, you say it's a little thing. And it's really, it's supposed to be fun. But you start with that whole combative approach. See? I tell people this because about 1957 I walked into of course it's changing over there now because they're picking up habits. This is in so-called Japan. I say so-called because there's no such thing as countries under white supremacy. White supremacy is a country. They erase every line on the map. The lines just mean something to black people, non-white people. The lines don't mean nothing to the white races. See, the whole map is theirs. And not only that, all the stars in the universe are theirs. See? He'll say Africa is your home. See? Or Cincinnati or wherever. They assign homes to other people. Homelands. That's your place. Soweto. My home, wherever I want to be. That's the races. But where was I? I was talking about what? Yes, 1957 I was in so-called Japan. And I walked into a barbershop. Everybody turned around. I thought it was going to be the same old thing. What are you doing in here? See? And all the people who were cutting hair, they turned around and bowed. Ohio, 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 Ohio. See, meaning good morning. And I took my seat up in the chair, got my hair cut. They very quietly went about their business, cutting the people's hair that was in the barbershop. When I got up to leave, everybody stopped cutting hair again. Everybody stopped what they're doing. The person who was doing things out in back stopped and came forward and sayonara, sayonara, sayonara. So when I got out of there, I said, boy, that's weird. See? But then I got to thinking about it. That is really kind of nice. I mean, and they weren't acting or play acting. This was something that they thought was a requirement of the society. I mean, it was, this is back in 57. And, a lot of them have changed now, see, because of influences. But I'm saying that type of thing. And then I contrasted that with walking in a lot of barbershops where black people were. Oh, the minute you walk in and start getting those insults. Hey, man, by the time you show up for a haircut, all that mess you got on your head, see, that's somebody sitting over there reading the magazine, see. And then everybody laughed, see. The difference. A difference in feeling, a difference in perspective. You might say, well, that's a little thing and that's innocent. It's not. Because when you add several other hundred things to that, it winds up being hostility. That's the bottom line. When you add it all up in a long column and then draw a line under it, just like mathematics. All these little things that we do. Walk out of here tonight saying that you're not going to do two things as far as use of language. See, what's the greatest two-word phrase that black people have added to the language in the northwestern hemisphere of this planet in the last 100 years? Our contribution. See, we got all these black books on here. See, this is wonderful. But let's be honest. Contribution to language. See, Japanese step forward. What's your contribution to language in the last 100 years? Relatively recent time, not 2 trillion years. Last 100, last 50. Japanese step forward, they'll say something. Chinese, white people. Then ask, black people, male person, northwestern hemisphere. Step forward. Take the mic. Think of what you have contributed to language, the way that people communicate with each other. 5 words, no, give me one. The most prominent one. You know what it's going to be. We got the real young people in here. I have to watch it, see. But it's going to be ML. We call everything that. That's what you call black culture. The contribution. This is our contribution. Step forward, see. In fact, we get on radio, in the movies and ask for an assignment where we can go out and say it in 15 different ways and ask to be paid for it. And people do. $40 a shot maybe in some real fancy theaters, and sit up there and applaud at somebody walking out on a stage showing you how to say MF in 30 different ways. And what are you really saying? Is this a real contribution? The sky is that. The bus station is that. Your buddy is that, standing next to you. When the bus comes, that's what the bus is. The bus driver is that. Particularly if he's 2 minutes late. And everybody on the bus is that. The money you're trying to get out of your pocket, that's what it is. It's a description for everything. You can't describe nothing without that. You're completely lost for language without it. Gotta have it. Gotta stick it in there somewhere. Is there any place I can put this? If some person came here from wherever, Lower Slobovia, and didn't speak anything and talk to black people, this is mostly what he or she would hear. And they would say, oh, very interesting. You mentioned this MF very much. Who is he? Must be your king. A very important fellow, maybe. Can't get through the day without talking. See? Now, I'm making it comical, but at the same time, I'm holding up that mirror. So you start with yourself if you're going to change the universe. See, we always talk about how, our poor parents did this and whatnot. What are we doing? If they would suddenly show up and say, now, let's talk about language, see, we just drop our heads and start trying to hide. Uh-oh, we're in trouble, see. Now, these are things we do voluntarily, but it's all a result of white supremacy now. See?